When The Exorcist was released in 1973, Linda Blair was just 14 years old. Though the film generated a considerable amount of controversy, the young actress blew audiences away with her haunting performance as possessed preteen Regan MacNeil.
How long are you planning to stay in Regan?
Until she rots and lies stinking in the earth.
While the role earned her a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress, it also became an inescapable source of frustration that ultimately hindered her career. The film's legacy as one of the scariest movies ever made pales in comparison to the real-life horrors Linda Blair endured as a result of starring in it.
It burns! Oh, it burns!
Although she was barely old enough to be considered a teenager when filming The Exorcist, Linda Blair endured a number of physical and emotional challenges on set. One particularly upsetting issue is the fact that Blair was haphazardly strapped to a mechanically rigged bed for one of the film's terrifying possession scenes, which resulted in the young actress's lower spine being fractured.
That's the footage I use in the movie where I'm crying my eyes out because they are brutally damaging my back.
Yes, you heard that right. The crying and screaming we see at this point in the film is not the result of great acting, but is instead Blair's genuine cries for help that went unanswered as the cameras kept rolling. In addition to sustaining back injuries, director William Friedkin insisted on shooting many of the scenes in sub-zero temperatures in order to generate genuine discomfort and capture the actor's breath on camera. This meant that Blair, who wore nothing more than a nightgown for the majority of the movie, was literally on the verge of freezing throughout her performance. Other shocking and unpleasant conditions on set included the fact that Friedkin would sometimes fire a gun before takes in order to elicit real scares and create an atmosphere thick with unease and anxiety throughout the filming process.
And he shot his shotgun this close to my head. I said, "You son of a... How dare you?"
He also went so far as to slap a real priest across the face before a take, in hopes that it would result in a genuine emotional response on screen.
He belted me right across the chops.
These conditions would be horrific for people of any age, let alone for a young teenage girl. While Blair was able to leave behind the hostile work environment created by Friedkin's unorthodox directorial methods, the release of The Exorcist created a new set of problems for the actress. Following the premiere, reporters engaged in invasive speculation concerning Blair's mental health, leading to unfounded claims that she'd suffered a mental breakdown as a result of having to film the extremely graphic and unsettling scenes present in the film. Audiences were also shocked by her convincing portrayal of demonic possession, and influential Christian evangelist Billy Graham was among them. After his declaration that the film was tainted by the influence of the devil himself, people began sending the 14-year-old Blair death threats and hate mail, claiming that she was somehow glorifying Satan due to her participation in the movie. The backlash was so severe that it began to pose a threat to Blair's safety, causing Warner Brothers to hire a bodyguard for her as a result. Blair also had to deal with a public that seemed to forget she was just a child, as she was frequently bombarded with questions concerning the existential and spiritual content of the film during interviews. Blair herself has said that the questions only added to the pressure she was already under, and that it was an awful thing to go through as a teenager who didn't have an understanding of how the religious aspects of the film were grounded in reality. It's certainly easy to understand how the barrage of inconsiderate questions, coupled with the backlash, resulted in emotional distress for Blair. Even as she struggled to find the light outside of the looming shadow of The Exorcist, the actress would find herself typecast in victim roles, despite her desire to show more range in her work. She went on to play troubled teens in various films and reprised her role as Regan in the 1977 sequel to The Exorcist. On top of that, she even parodied herself in the 1990 spoof Repossessed. Thankfully, Linda Blair was able to overcome the challenges and difficulties associated with her breakout role. Though she continued to act in a number of smaller films and television shows, she eventually shifted her focus to animal rights activism and founded the Linda Blair World Heart Foundation to further the cause. Surprisingly, despite becoming one of the most iconic scream queens of all time, thanks to The Exorcist, Blair revealed in 2021 that she was not offered a role in the upcoming Exorcist reboots. This information sparked outrage from fans who are eager to see her return to the franchise that both launched and tainted her career.